We will present Kiseg defense, during the first warpath of Suleiman the Magnificent in 1532. To Suleiman the Magnificent, Croats were Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end. On the beginning was Nikola Jurišić. He defended Kiseg near Vienna, and consequently Europe. Kiseg battle was 200 years before the battle at Sinj in Croatia. Regarding military doctrine, Kiseg and Sinj battles are almost identical. Some historians without military education would say that Sulejman made a mistake since he did not bypass Kiseg in 1532. But they neglect the position of the main goal of the attack, Vienna, since in order to attack Vienna you need to get your troops and supplies from Kiseg to Vienna. These historians neglect the military doctrine in that age. There was no such logistics as we have nowadays. Context before the battle was following. Hungarians managed to defend Belgrade in 1440. In 1454 Belgrade was saved by Janko Hunjadi and St. Ivan Kapistran, who would become patron of Belgrade. Belgrade had fallen in 1521 due to unsuccessful defense by Mihail Mor, and success of the attacker Sulejman. Fall of Belgrade enabled Sulejman to attack Middle Europe. Internal struggle with peasants existed in the Hungarian monarchy. King Ludvig lost Mohatch battle on 29 August 1526. Sulejman was lucky because European leaders had internal struggles, so there was no possibility for alliance. Sulejman ended other wars, so he had good possibilities to attack Europe. 140,000 Turks started the warpath to Vienna. Due to Sulejman's rapid advances, Ferdinand feared the Christian forces would not be assembled in time to meet him. The Ottoman army had captured 17 fortified towns or castles. In order to make decisive gains, the Ottomans had to take the city quickly, as a large imperial army, raised in Germany, reinforced by Spanish troops and led by the Emperor Charles V himself, was approaching in support of Ferdinand. On the Sulejman warpath stood Nikola with 700 soldiers in Kiseg. After other places, Sulejman had to conquer Kiseg. Leaving Jurišić undefeated in Kiseg would enable Jurišić to attack supply lines and the Sulejman army from the back. Nikola sends following message to Ferdinand I. I dared to defend this small and weak city against Turkish force, not because I hoped to save it, but to keep the enemy busy and to enable Christian leaders to prepare for defense. Sulejman in his warpath stopped at Kiseg. 2 days after 11th of August 1532, the first attack on Kiseg started. Kiseg was on the Hungarian and Austrian border, the last fortress on Hungarian soil. Inside Kiseg there was a small troop with the Croatian captain Nikola. This famous Croatian warrior and diplomat have already been successful in battles against Turks. He was confident of Ferdinand Habsburgski, representing his interests during his election for king 1527 in Cetingrad. For Ferdinand he was negotiating with Sulejman in Istanbul. Jurisic's small troops were filled from the surrounding area, so around 700 people defended Kiseg. Against Jurišić there was a much stronger Turkish army. Left alone, defenders managed to withstand Turkish attacks until 30th of August 1532. Jurišić managed to stop Turks in their intent that through underground tunnels destroy the walls of Kiseg. But one Turkish weapon managed to penetrate the weakest parts of the wall. Through this destroyed part of the wall, Turks started 12 big attacks, which Nikola stopped. Jurišić writes a letter to Ferdinand after the 12th attack. 350 out of 700 our soldiers have died. From 300 forints of gunpowder I have only 1 cent. Only God mercy is protecting us. May God have mercy on my soul." After that Ibrahim sent a proposal for Jurišić to surrender. He answered that he would surrender only dead. Ibrahim suggested to Jurišić that he would give him the city if he pays to him yearly tax of 2,000 forints. Nikola replied, "Kiseg is not mine to give." In the most dangerous attack Ibrahim's soldiers entered the city. But Nikola stopped them. When Jurišić troops were on the edge of the stamina, and Nikola was wounded, after 3 Ibrahim's proposals to surrender, Jurišić accepted 4th. Before the negotiations Kiseg people started to pray to St. Martin. In 13th attack, Turks said that they have retreated because the knight with the flaming sword has chased them away, and also they have said that Kiseg is in alliance with Satan. A bizarre event followed. Ibrahim, in order to save Sulejman's reputation, sends to Nikola one proposal. Ibrahim asked to stop the siege, and the Turkish army would go home, if Nikola signs documents and gives Ibrahim keys of Kiseg so that Sulejman could formally conquer Kiseg. Jurišić and Ibrahim exchanged prisoners and this performance ended. Ibrahim placed Turkish flags on Kiseg and went home. It was too late for the warpath to Vienna and Turks went home. Nikola's defense of Kiseg postponed the Turkish siege on Vienna for 130 years. This was since Carlo and Ferdinand managed to get 125,000 soldiers to Vienna until the 23rd of October, waiting for Turks to attack. Turks have lost their favorable moment thanks to Jurišić. We can see this painting from the 17th century which represents the siege of Kiseg. Jurišić got Kiseg for his contribution. Nowadays the castle in Hungary is named after Nikola. We can see it in Google Maps, and also, we can see Jurišić Street near Croatian capital city Zagreb main square at Google Maps. Also, you can find his statue in Zrinivac in Zagreb, and his statue in his birthplace. He founded a fortress in Jasenovac, and recommended 500 Croat warriors for military service. His assessment was that Sulejman would first go after Budim and not to France. In 1527 he founded the defense of the Croatian city Bihać, which is nowadays in Bosnia and Herzegovina. From 1528 to 1530, Jurišić served as the captain of Rijeka and was given the pleasure of Postojna in Kranjska and Novigrad in Istria. In the year 1537, he was appointed commander-in-chief of the army in Croatia and Austria and governor of Kranjska, where he fought against Protestantism, so in 1541 he was appointed as a land captain. From 1543 he was a privy councillor and chamberlain of the Austrian court. He spent the last days of his life in Vienna as a court military advisor. There are some interesting facts about Nikola and the history of the Croatian language. During the negotiations with Ottomans in 1530, there was no translator for German, so he spoke with Ibrahim and Sulejman in Croatian. Andrija Kacic Miocic included the Kiseg battle in the first Croatian bestseller in the 18th century. Nikola lived at the same time as the father of Croatian language Marko Marulić, and Jurišić argued for using Glagolitic script. At that time it was believed that Saint Geronimo invented Glagolitic script and that Saint Geronimo was Croat. Marulić believed Geronimo was Croat. At the end of his life, he lived in Vienna in the house that was called Croatan House. The place of his grave is not known.